All right, so we are going to continue to see the modern art today. So the modern art is divided as two, before avant-garde and after avant-garde. So last time we learned before avant-garde. So realism, impressionism, post-impressionism. Today, we are going to see after avant-garde. Looks a lot. So Fauvism, impressionism, cubism, futurism, surrealism, Dada, and idealism. There are many art movements and artists. In Moodle Room, there are related artist videos, so please watch them after the class for deeply understanding each art movement. So avant-garde. So avant-garde was originally a military term referring to the detachment of soldiers that went first into battle. Avant-garde, which is a French term, means newest, latest, and most advanced art. By the 1880s, younger artists began to refer to themselves as the avant-garde. They were the boldest artists going first into uncharted territory and waiting for others to catch up. So newest and change became artistic ideal, and each generation, even each group, believed it was their duty to go further than the one before. So the first art movement is Fauvism. In 1904, the artists of the Salon de Rome organized a large exhibition of Cézanne, and in 1906, they mounted a major retrospective Gauguin. So Cézanne was the father of modern art. But the most notorious exhibit of the Salon de Rome was the one they organized for themselves in 1905. It was then that a critic dubbed them Fauves, wild beast. The artist who emerged as the leader of this wild new trend in painting was Henri Matisse. So this is Henri Matisse. So he was a draftsman, printmaker, and sculptor, but is known primarily as a painter. Matisse is commonly regarded, along with Pablo Picasso, as one of the artists who best helped to define the revolutionary developments in visual art throughout the opening decades of 20th century, responsible for significant developments in painting and sculpture. So let's see his work of art. So this is it. How do you think about his work of art?
It's very colorful. I like the mixture of like the blue and the red, but there's also yellow and orange. It's very warm.
Exactly. Very good. So do you think his work of art is along with the title like a Fauvism? Do you think, is it good with the Fauvism? With the color, the bold color?
I think it works.
Yes, yes. And then look at the figures, they are so natural, right? In this painting. So during his five years, Matisse often painted landscapes in the south of France during the summer and worked up ideas developed there into larger composition upon his return to Paris. So the painting's title is The Joy of Life. And this is the second of his important imaginary composition, and it is typical of this. He used a landscape he had painted in Collier to provide the setting for the idol, but it is also influenced by ideas drawn from Watteau, Pushkin, Japanese woodcut, Persian miniatures, and 19th century Orientalist images of harems. So the scene is made up of independent motifs arranged to form a complete composition. So massive painting and its shocking colors received mixed reviews at the Salon des Independents. So critics noted its new style, like broad fields of color and linear figures. And this is Henri Matisse' another painting, The Dance. The final version of The Dance has a very different emotional character. So it has been described as forbidding, menacing, tribal, ritualistic, even demonic. So drum beats almost seem to be heard as the simple pleasure of the original is overwhelmed. And the next art movement we are going to see is Expressionism. The Expressionism's fundamental purpose of art was to express their intention, feelings toward the world. Expressionism describes any style where the artist's subjective feelings take descendance over object observation. So I will show you two artists. The first artist is Edvard Munch. Edvard Munch is best known as being a Norwegian-born expressionist painter and printmaker. In the late 20th century, he played a great role in German expressionism and the art form that later followed, namely because of the strong mental anguish that was displayed in many of the pieces that he created. So let me show you his work of art. It's very popular. This is it. And probably this is just, you know, our quarantine feeling, right? In this pandemic crisis. So the title is Scream by Edvard Munch. So how do you feel about this painting?
He looks surprised,
Yeah.
like the painter, the person.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. So we can even feel his emotion through the, you know, the brush stroke and the color. So everything is, you know, combining, you know, mixing in the painting, right? So Munch recalled that he had been out for a walk at sunset when suddenly the setting sunlight turned the clouds a blood red, and he sensed an infinite scream passing through nature. Scholars had located the spot to a field overlooking Oslo and have suggested other explanations for the unnaturally orange sky, ranging from the effects of the volcanic eruption to a psychological reaction by Munch to his sister's commitment at a nearby lunatic asylum. because he was suffered from the mental illness. And the next Impressionist artist is Vasily Kandinsky. And Vasily Kandinsky was one of the pioneers of abstract modern art and exploit the evocative interrelation between color and form to create an aesthetic experience that engaged the sight, sound, and emotion of the public. He used to be a musician, and he transferred to the artist later. So his work of art looks like very rhythmical. It looks like music, like this. So he believed that total abstraction offered the possibility for profound, transcendental expression and that copying from nature only interfered with this process. And this is another his painting with geometric shapes and lines, very rhythmical. And the next art movement we are going to see is Cubism. Cubism is a style of painting and sculpture developed in the early 20th century, characterized chiefly by an emphasis on formal structure, the reduction of natural forms to their geometrical equivalents, and the organization of the planes of a represented object independently of representational requirements. So the most representational artist of Cubism is Pablo Picasso. So this is Pablo Picasso. So he is probably the most important figure of 20th century. In terms of art and art movements that occurred over this period, before the age of 50, the Spanish-born artist had become the most well-known name in modern art, with the most distinct style and eye for artistic creation. So let me show you his very aggressive style of Cubism painting. So can you guess what the painting is about? Can you see what the artist painting paint in this work of art? What?
Is that an house?
House? House?
House.
House.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, no. I know it's hard, there are just lots of, geometric shapes. Just, keep guessing. Without title, nobody guess. Keep guessing. It's not an animal. It's a person.
Is it the dark shadow on top? Is that the head, and then the square things are the shoulders?
Yes. Oh my God, yes. Yes. Do you mean here, right? Yes. It's a head. It's a shoulder. This is body. Can you guess what is this?
What?
I know. It's very shocking. I know. If you guess what it is,
Oh, I can see.
You know, it's all, you know. Can you guess what it is? Oh, there is a line.
Is that the guitar?
Huh?
Guitar?
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
Yes.
I got it.
Yeah, oh my gosh. There's a genius.
Yep.
It's a guitarist. Oh my gosh. It's a guitarist. Oh, how amazing, right?
Finally, I think it's a lot. It's a lot of houses. No, oh my gosh.
It's a guitarist. It's amazing. Cubism style. This is the cubism, okay? So it's so fun, right? It's so much fun. All right, so it's so much easier, right? So how do you think about this Pablo Picasso's cubism painting?
Some young girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell. Nothing about this? Okay, it's fine.
It's a bunch of people standing around.
Yes, yes.
I guess they're like model. I guess they were modeling for the picture, and he painted them modeling in a cubism way.
Yeah, yeah. They're very primitive, yes. So it's a large oil painting. It's shoes. And it's created in 1907 by Pablo Picasso. The work, part of the permanent collection of Museum of MoMA, Museum of Modern Art, the MoMA in New York City, portrays 5 nude female prostitutes in a brothel on Avignon. Each figure is depicted in a disconcerting, confrontational manner, and none is conversationally feminine. The women appear slightly menacing and are rendered with angular and disjointed body shapes. The 3 figures on the left exhibit facial features in the Iberian style of Pablo Picasso's native Spain, while 2 on the right are shown with African mask-like features. So the racial primitivism evoked in these masks, according to Pablo Picasso, moved him to liberate an utterly original artistic style of compelling, even savage force. And the next one is Guernica series. We saw this work before, and this is another series of Guernica. So on 26 April 1937, the Air Force of Nazi Germany bombed the Basque town of Guernica. The attack was carried out in support of General Franco's nationalist forces, and it was one of the worst atrocities of the Spanish Civil War. Picasso responded to the massacre by painting the large anti-war mural Guernica, and he also made a number of additional paintings of a figure from the mural, a woman holding her head child and weeping woman. This is the last of the series. The figure is based on the artist and photographer Dora Maar, who documented the making of Guernica. In 1914, conflict broke out in the Balkan Peninsula. Soon, as the result of treaties and alliances, every major power in Europe was drawn into war. Soldiers with their heads full of gallant ideas about battle rushed headlong into the most horrible death imaginable. So in 1916, a group of artists waiting out the war in Jurek in neutral Switzerland banded together as a protest art movement called Dada. Dada was anti, so anti-art, anti-middle class society, anti-politicians, anti-good manner, anti-business as usual, anti all that had brought about the war. In that sense, anti was a big no. But Dada was also a big yes. Yes to creativity, to life, to silliness, to spontaneity. So Marcel Duchamp was a French-American painter, sculptor, chess player, and writer whose work is associated with Cubism, Dada, and conceptual art. So the work is widely regarded as a modernist classic and has become one of the most famous of its time. Before its first presentation at the 1912 Salon des Indépendants in Paris, it was rejected by the Cubists as being too futurist. And he created this types of art as a Dada. What was it? We learned it before.
You know?
Yeah. What was it? What kind of art? It was already made, and he just displayed the, manufactured, piece of, stuff in a show. What was it? Ah, ready-made.
Oh, that's true.
The ready-made of Marcel Duchamp are ordinary manufactured objects that the artist selected and modified as an antidote to what he called retinal art. By simply choosing the object or objects and repositioning or joining and titling and signing it, the found object become the art that's ready-made. And the next art movement we are going to see is Surrealism. So Surrealism was formulated in Paris in the 1920s. Like Dada, Surrealism was not a style, but a way of life. Fascinated by the theories of the psychologist Sigmund Freud, who was then setting out his revolutionary ideas in Vienna, the Surrealists appreciated the power of dreams, the mysterious of the unconsciousness, and the lure of the bizarre, the irrational, the incongruous, and the marvelous. So I will show you two Surrealism artists. One is Salvador Dali. So Dali was a Spanish Surrealist artist. Dali was a skilled draftsman, best known for the striking and bizarre images in his work. His painterly skills are often attributed to the influence of Renaissance master. So let me show you his amazing work of art. So this is his work of art. So how do you think? This is surrealism.
So, what's the white thing on the ground with the clock over it? What is it?
Guess what it is?
It kind of looks like a bird, but it
Oh,
kind of looks like a stump.
same as me. You know, first time I saw this painting, I thought that was bird, but it's not. This is the eyelash. Eyelash. This is eyelash. So
I
this,
see that now.
yes, this is you know, face, the profile. Yeah. So it's odd, right?
It looks like everything is melting. It's very
Yes, very dreamlike. So everything is very, you know, very well painted. You know, he has excellent, you know, painting skill, but everything is very dreamlike. It's not realistic at all. So the persistence of memory is a 1931 painting by Dali and one of the most recognizable works of surrealism. The iconography may refer to a dream that Dali himself had experienced, and the clocks may symbolize the passing of time as one experiences it in sleep, or the persistence of time in the eyes of the dreamer. The orange clock here at the bottom left of the painting is covered in ants. I know it's very small, but these are ants. So the ants, a common theme in Dali's work, represent decay, particularly when they attack a gold watch, and they seem grotesquely organic. And the monstrous flash creature here dragged across the painting center is at once alien and familiar. Approximation of Dali one's own face in profile, its long eyelashes seem disturbingly insect-like or even sexual. So as does what may or may not be a tongue oozing from its nose here, like a fat snail. And the next surrealist artist is René Magritte. René Magritte was a Belgian surrealist artist, and he became well known for creating several witty and thought-provoking images, and often depicting ordinary objects in an unusual context. And his work is known for challenging observers' preconditioned perceptions of reality. So let me show you his work of art. So looks fun, right? There are lots of Raining Man on the sky. So the piece depicts a scene of Raining Man nearly identical to each other, dressed in dark overcoats and blower hats, who seems to be earlier falling down like raindrops, floating up like helium balloons, or just stationed in midair as no movement or motion is implied. The backdrop features red roof buildings and a mostly blue, partly cloudy sky, lending credence to the theory that the men are not raining. And many of surrealists' interest in mask, disguise, and what lies beyond or beneath visual surfaces like this Rene Magritte's painting. And surrealism offered a personal solution to life during the years following the trauma of World War I. But in the view of many artists, society, and possibly even human nature of itself, had to be transformed so that such a horror would not happen again. That art could play a central role in bringing about a better society was a 19th century idea. Yet, it found renewed application after World War I in a collective approach. So in the arts, idealism encourages imagination and attempts to realize a mental conception of beauty, a standard of perfection, juxtaposed to aesthetic naturalism and realism. The artists of this title reduced art to essential geometric shapes and primary colors, believing that these were a universally understood visual language. The most famous artist associated with this title was Piet Mondrian. So let me show you his work of art. Looks very simple. So Piet Mondrian is a Dutch painter. He is known for being one of the pioneers of 20th century abstract art, as he changed his artistic direction from figurative painting to an increasingly abstract style until he reached a point where his artistic vocabulary was reduced to simple geometric elements. So Mondrian's art was highly utopian and was concerned with a search for universal values and aesthetics. It's very simple. This is his work. This is idealism. So as the years progressed, lines began to take precedence over forms in Mondrian's paintings. In the 1930s, he began to use thinner lines and double lines more frequently and punctuated with a few small colored forms, and if any at all. And double lines particularly excited Mondrian, for he believed they offered his paintings a new dynamism which he was eager to explore. So there are lots of artists' videos with diverse art movement in, there are lots of artists and art movement in the 19th and 20th century. And there are related artist videos in Moodle Room. So please watch them all for your understanding. And today we have an amazing discussion. So this is today's discussion topic. Please go to week 14 and go to discussion 14.1. By tonight, please reply to this discussion topic. So we have been suffering from COVID-19 and the virus has changed our life, right? Some scholars said the stress from COVID-19 is just the same as the world wars. There are diverse art movements during world wars in 19th and 20th centuries. Artists showed their physical and psychological wounds through their art in a variety of ways. So which art style or artist work of avant-garde is representing your feeling in this pandemic crisis? So choose one of the modern art movements or artists and tell us why it represents your feeling, okay? So there is a list. There are lists, Fauvism, Expressionism, Cubism, Futurism, Dada, Surrealism, and Idealism. And there are video lists, for your reference, so you can watch them to see their work of art. Any question?